Hello, this is my presentation on Learning Enhancement, Advancement and Direction Framework. As far as my strengths, in personal level, I do consider myself a caring and trustworthy person. As far as dedication, I think that is something that's important in personal, professional, and academic level for any kind of success. Therefore, I have mentioned it in all three areas. In professional level, I try to stay optimistic, which seems to help with problem solving and keeping people less stressed about the situation, and being ambitious about what you're doing. It's basically imposing a belief to people that you believe in your steps that you're taking. In academic field, it's important to be open-minded and thinking outside the box. I think is a key factor for being successful, and I do consider myself an open-minded person. Besides being dedicated, that I already mentioned, I also give a big importance to being logical in academic work. By saying logical, I mean from step 1 to the last step, there is a logical order that you can follow, that the reader can follow to come to the conclusion, which I think is an important quality to an academic work. My developmental areas, one thing that is same in all three personal, professional, and academic levels is me being a little too perfectionist and doing over planning, which also is a direct result of being a perfectionist person. In my personal level, I think I need to work on being enthusiastic. I'm not a very enthusiastic person, or many times I am, but I can't express it outside. And in many cases, I think people are sometimes over enthusiastic on events that are happening around them. However, being an enthusiastic person and being able to show it and transfer it to people, I think, is an important skill, and I'm working on it. In academic level, I actually do think it's easier for me to be enthusiastic in writing, compared to in expressing it in personal level. One thing that I think I need to work on is fear of writing. Now, not being a native English speaker, of course, writing is one of my challenges, and it is something that I'm working on. I did finish my master's degree, going through a lot of writing tasks, and I do acknowledge it being a very important skill, and I do appreciate ACE focusing on writing and making it very clear that that is the most important skill that I'll need to sharpen in order to be a successful professional. As far as my accomplishments, in personal level, I do consider being married and having a child an accomplishment, and I also got a chance to travel to different countries, just few, like I went to Canada, Netherlands, Kenya in Africa, and I visited Turkey. Azerbaijan is my home country, and I believe these really added into my experience and expertise. In professional level, I did work in positions where I had to lead STEM initiatives, science, technology, engineering, and math initiatives. And I mostly worked with students at risk, and through the leadership through different programs, those students at risk actually were able to place first, second, third places in different high-level competitions, which I believe was an professional accomplishment for me. And this is my second year as an educational leader in terms of being in administration. I did lead different programs before, but solely being an administration position, this is my second year. And I think it also added a lot to my experience and expertise in the education field. Academic accomplishments: I did finish my bachelor's degree in industrial engineering. I finished my master's in school counseling, and I did acquire many certifications through different programs and different exams that I had to take through ETS. Ways I make decisions in personal level. I always think it is important to show empathy as much as possible before making especially big decisions. So I try to get myself informed about the situation, how possibly can I empathize with the person in front of me, and get into his or her shoes. And of course, considering all other factors that this decision will influence before making decisions. So generally, especially for big decisions, it takes my time before finalizing. In professional level, of course, that personality kind of transfers to other levels as well. So I do tend to make sure I know everything about the situation, and I consider all possible factors as much as possible. And if necessary, if I need to improve myself in that field, that meaning I need to get extra professional development on that, or get extra consultation from someone, I make sure I do that. And then another big piece is collaborating with others. I always ask an idea, from people that I kind of look up to before I make final decision. In academic level, I am giving a big importance to following guidelines and consulting with instructors, and then they following their announcements and making sure if necessary contacting them and asking questions, and also consulting other people that has gone through the program before. That really helps to make high quality decisions. And lastly, especially in this status, where I'm a father, a husband, and a worker, an admin at school, and also doing academic work at the same time, I do have to consider other life balances before making decisions. How I learn best is the same, identical in all three levels: personal, professional, and academic. And I really did have a hard time differentiating in the skill between them three, because it looks like that's what I do in each time I'm trying to learn something. It's basically I'm giving a big importance to trying it myself, rather than just sitting down and listening and watching people to do. Of course, that's necessary to initially learn how it needs to be done, but then practicing it firsthand on my own, and having a chance to have a lot of practice on it before I really feel comfortable about it. And what I found to be one of the best ways to learn is to actually teach it, even before you are 100% confident. If you teach it in the basic level, in higher end, you actually start getting more and more confident, and things start clicking a lot better. So that I found that method to be very useful for myself.